Hi, I'm Carrie Fisher, and this is the Graham Norton Show!
It's Friday night! Yes, it is! Do you all have a good week? Yes! So far. Now, listen, we've got a great Sophie for this week, including, ladies and gentlemen, Princess Leia herself. Carrie Fisher is on the show. Yes! Now, she's talking about her diaries, including the revelation that this kiss with Harrison Ford wasn't the only one they enjoyed. Get my drift, get my drift, get my drift. Yeah, Carrie has finally admitted she had an affair with Harrison Ford. Yes. Of course, not the only Star Wars co-star she left broken-hearted. Called me the next morning, she didn't. That's good, I'm going on tour. Also on the show, I'm delighted to welcome the artist Grayson Perry, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we love Grayson. That's him with his pottery creation for which he won the Turner Prize. Yeah, he did. And actually, earlier in this week, the Turner Prize winner was announced. This was, of course, one of the finalists. They got all the press. And you know, sort of thing, quite glad it didn't win. I mean, you wouldn't want the Queen attending that opening, would you? No. A huge golden... Have I shown a picture of some golden before? Oh, yes, I have, yeah. Hey, let's get some guests out. Later, we'll be meeting everyone's favourite Bake-Off winner, Nadiya Hussain, will be here. And with music from the Comeback Kids, Busted. Yeah. But first, she's one of the funniest women in Britain, and now she's the new host of QI. Please welcome the great dame herself, it's Sandi Toksvig. Wow. Woo. Look at you. It's a new person.
Hello.
Lovely to see you, Sandi Toksvig. Good to see you very much. This artist puts the OTT into pottery. He's won not only the Turner Prize, but also 2 BAFTAs and is one of the best-known figures in the contemporary art world. Please welcome Grayson Perry, everybody! Hello! Hi. Lovely to see you. Come in, sit down, Sandi, Grayson. And from a galaxy far, far away comes an actress, a best-selling author, and one of the most famous pop culture icons in the world. It is Princess Leia herself, Carrie Fisher! Look at that! It's the actual Carrie Fisher. Hello. See, it's working already. Woo! Welcome all. Very nice to see you all. It's a welcome back. First time for Grayson Perry.
Yes.
Now, Carrie.
Yes?
Sandy, you look lovely.
But
one guest made an effort. That's all I'm saying.
He borrowed the dress from me, so...
I know that people would be disappointed if I didn't wear a dress, and that being on telly, you want to kind of have something to look at, because that telly is a visual medium.
Yes.
So, and I can do civvies anytime.
Are people disappointed when you're out and about and you're not dressed like this?
Well, one day I was just pulling up some roadworks on my bicycle, and the man who was sort of digging the hole sort of looked up and he said, "Shouldn't you be in a dress?" So even he was disappointed.
In fact, you know what? We were talking about this. I think you're the first artist we've ever had on the show.
I'm honest, so I've got to carry the baggage of the entire contemporary art community.
Yeah. Yes, if you go well, we're going to have artists every week.
If you mess it up, that's it. It's finished.
Finished. Because, Carrie, you buy a lot of art, don't you?
I do buy a lot of art. I like my art to be like video art a little bit.
Oh.
It was all going so well.
No, that's only because I discovered it recently and I couldn't believe the paintings moved.
I don't know, I always look at it and think it's sort of boring telly.
They're butterflies, though. I got the butterflies. Oh, no, I failed. Well, I'd take something still from you any time.
Why do you like the video art? What is it about it that you like so much?
It moves me. No, honestly, I had one that moved really slowly, and I'm being like sort of a stupid person watching the paint, like watching paint dry.
Yeah.
But this watches paintings move, so it was just one step up from the other.
I have still paintings and drink Prosecco. It has the same effect.
trouble with being an ex-drug addict. Now, let's start, because we've lots to talk about. Carrie Fisher. Carrie Fisher has a new book out. It's called The Princess Diarist, and it's out now, and it's a real treat for, well, for anyone, but for Star Wars fans in particular. Now, the book begins when you find these diaries. And had you lost them, or did you forget you wrote them?
I forgot that I wrote them, and I handwrite everything. So they were sort of in the storage room under my bedroom. Mysterious. And
I've been in your bedroom. Where's the storeroom?
Well, you have to go outside to find it. I don't like to go there because there's spiders.
Yes.
And so we brought all these things up thinking, well, I have to put things in a book. Maybe there'll be a line that's funny. That didn't happen. And so, but I found these three. I wrote these diaries here, and I was a little saddened by them. I'm very insecure in the books. And I didn't recall that I was that insecure.
No, because actually, we were talking, you were saying that, you haven't altered the diaries at all. The diaries are precisely what 19-year-old Carrie Fisher was writing.
And I wanted to take some of the stuff out, and I should have.
No, I think you were right to leave it all in.
No, yeah.
It's good. It's good to show, your vulnerabilities.
Everything.
Because that's what people warm to.
Because I think if you'd edited the diaries to try and make yourself seem more sophisticated or something, it would be terrible.
No, it sounds like a 19-year-old girl who's having it with a 34-year-old man.
Let's call him a man. Let's go with that. Because the heart of this book, of course, is the love affair between yourself and Harrison. Now, given that it did happen 40 years ago...
I just remembered.
But I suppose there's that, but also that it has caused a sensation. You would think that people would kind of go, oh, two young actors, yeah, of course they had an affair. But this has caused ructions.
400,000 news services picked it up.
Wow.
And it became a little embarrassing for me.
But here's the thing, and I do find this extraordinary. So 40 years ago, you have this affair over the months of the movie, and you say you literally never spoke about it again. And yet you've been seeing him off and on for that whole time.
More on than... I mean, I became friends with his second wife then, and so we saw each other a lot. And no, I can literally remember 3 times that I, of course, made some oblique reference to it, and he went,
But, of course, the other thing is, now he's going to have to talk about it for the rest of his life.
That's what I never thought of that, and leave it to Graham to now, and now I feel
But if he talks like that, if he goes, you should just have a quote on the front of the book.
Harrison says about this, a good
You were filmed together with The Force Awakens, obviously you came back together again. And there's a picture of you at Comic-Con, and you kind of think, did Mark Hamill really not know? I mean...
He really didn't know, and I actually thought, well, he must have. And when I told him, he was shocked. I think he felt a little betrayed, quite honestly. Well, we were brother and sister, and there's that problem with that kiss in the second movie. And...
Yes, there's all of that. But did nobody on the set know?
I promise you, no one knew. So
no one's come out since the book and kind of went, oh...
I knew that.
Yeah.
No, but the fans had also started calling it Harrison. So they'd been speculating on. I get fan mail that says, if Harrison's there, say hi. I mean, they really like to think that so we were Han and Leia during the week and,
Harrison at the weekend.
Yes.
Nice. Because in terms of diaries, Grayson, you've kept journals over the years, haven't you?
Yeah. When I kind of... From before the Turner Prize, but I just thought... I've already published my biography up until I was 22. And so I thought, at some point I may want to publish another one. And so I've kept a diary for decades.
So you can publish it quite quickly. Yeah, publish those. I've already written it. There you go.
Isn't that what they say? Keep a diary so one day it'll keep you? I think that's what they say.
Hello?
Hello?
That's what they say. Now, Grayson Perry has also written a book. It's called The Descent of Man, and it's out now. And I suppose it's really about what purpose masculinity has now.
Yeah, there's a kind of redundancy about it. And, you know, what really spurred me on was, you know, sometimes I think the newsreader, especially as a female newsreader, I'd like it to sort of come up at the beginning of the news and say, let's see what men have been up to now. Because, you know, you look at the troubles of the world, it's men are doing most of it, you know. And of course, most men are lovely, but, you know, most crime is done by men, most of the awful things are done by men. So I'm looking at masculinity and saying how we could change it. And the thing is I want to say to men is it's not all about loss. You know, a lot of the traditional things we regard as masculine about kind of, you know, wearing this kind of armour, I think it's an unburdening, and you might find that there's a positive side to changing what it is to be masculine. You might like it. You might have better friendships.
But do you not think, Grayson, that you credit men, in a way, with more emotional intelligence than we have?
I don't want to be too harsh, because I don't want to stereotype them, you know, into...
Stereotype.
I don't want to make men too defensive. I want them to be open to change, you know. So I didn't want to kind of say, you're like this, you're like this. I wanted to say, look, I'm a bit like this too, but, hey, look, you could change, it might be nice.
But isn't so much of that behaviour just about trying to get laid?
Yeah, a lot of it is. And a big problem with our sexuality is it suffers from what I would call cultural lag. So our sexuality was formed when we were young, you know, a childhood. So therefore, it's kind of attached to how the world was then as well a bit.
Yeah.
So therefore, you know, men and women to a certain extent, they like an old-fashioned version of what, you know, what turns them on. I was talking to some women in researching the book, and I said, you know, and this woman was saying, oh, middle-class men, they're not as, you know, macho as they used to be. And I said, would you really want a man like that, you know, a kind of domineering, sexist man? She said, ooh, in the bedroom.
Yeah. Well, what's pull me back into the cave kind of thing?
Yeah, because I think you look at 50 Shades of Grey sold incredibly well, but I bet it didn't sell very well in Afghanistan.
No.
You know what I mean? You know,
yes.
it's like submissiveness...
Good point, well made.
Yeah. Submissiveness as a leisure activity, I was sort of thinking, you know what I mean?
50 Shades sales in Afghanistan never occurred to me.
I'm going to Google it now. Yeah. It's one of the markets she's really trying to break into.
But there is a point about how most of the world is designed for men and men of an average height. So if you're a woman and you go to a service station, you wash your hands and you go to dry them, the dryer is set by some bloke who's put it on the wall, and immediately you do that, and the water all runs down your elbow. Or lecterns. Lecterns are a really interesting thing. I was at the Hay Festival. Have you done the Hay Festival? Okay, yeah. So the Hay Festival, you stand up and talk at a lectern, and it comes to hear me. Lecterns are designed for men to say important things. They're not designed for women, like Carrie and myself, to say something.
And actually, it's funny, the subtle kind of sexist things like that. In the book, you talk about air conditioning, which I'd never thought about.
There was a news story last year that said that air conditioning was sexist because it was always set for men's comfort because they wear suits. So therefore, they're wearing a bit more clothes, whereas women in dresses and less heavy clothes, they're always complaining about being... And they have smaller bodies as well, so they get colder easier.
I always thought in Star Wars, they have no female planet that's overtly female. You know, where there's spas and the caricature of females, they do caricature of males. So I just thought there should be more female... My planet blew up with my parents on it, and I'm more upset about Harrison going into the...
That's what we need, a feminist Star Wars. That'd be...
There's no therapists in space.
But it is odd that if you are creating worlds, you would create worlds with so few women in them.
Yeah, you want... There must be exhausting. Yeah, I was there for the whole crew. Well, that'll be in the game. Yeah.
There'll be more diaries to come. Volume 2. Volume 2.
No, I'm getting a bunch of books on men I haven't slept with.
Stormtrooper 456.
Actually, but you talked earlier about how men are to blame for most things. And you have a radical idea in the book, a suggestion about men paying tax.
Yeah, well, there was this news story, I think it was this year, about tampon tax and about how women shouldn't pay tax or VAT on sanitary products. And I thought, yeah, that's good. I thought, well, if you look at, you know, men are responsible for most crime, maybe women shouldn't pay tax to fund the criminal justice system. Maybe men should pick up the bill for their own misdemeanours.
It's possible I love you.
Yeah.
There's a story.
Shall I stand for the Women's Equality Party?
Yes. But on the other side, there's also, in terms of changing things for boys, only 10% of men in this country take paternity leave who are entitled to it because they think it will impact adversely on them at work, and it will. So let's have compulsory paternity leave so that men can spend time with their babies. There's lots of ways in which we could sort it out so that boys can have an easier time and, in fact, we can all have a better time.
Well, I suppose it's because you were one of the founders of the Women's Equality party.
I am.
Which is kind of what Grayson's saying, is that it's not about losing or gaining, it's just about a party.
Yeah, it would be nice. You know, equality's better for everybody. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I've called the book The Descent of Man. I'm not saying I'm making them go down to the bottom. I'm saying, look, just come down level.
You want to be careful, though, Graham. There'll be women chat show hosts, and then where will we be?
This is a terrible idea. Why am I promoting this book? Well, now, talking of women chat show hosts, there is now a female panel show host. I know. I mean, you're not the first, but you're one of the first.
I'm the first in this kind of mainstream show, yeah.
Isn't that because it's not as like there's no heavy lifting.
Well, yeah, I was surprised. Here's the thing I didn't know when you're the host of one of those big shows, they tell you the answers beforehand. So it's not that difficult. And those cards you're holding, they're not as heavy as I was led to believe. It's been OK. I've loved it. I've absolutely loved it.
OK, so the thing about QI is, because you've done it, Carrie, I've done it, you learn, in the moment, you learn amazing things. You think, I'll never forget that. By the next day, it's gone. But I bet you remember things. I'm
afraid I do have one of those retentive minds. So we just did the N series, it's a different letter of the alphabet each time. So we did noises. So my favourite fact for Christmas, did you ever have partridge? Have you ever partridge? It's a thing in the song.
Heard of it.
Partridge in a pear tree. It comes from the Greek word perestai, and that means to break wind. And so the word partridge is because of the noise they make as they take off in flight. It basically means fart, partridge. I think that's terribly pleasing. The other one I know is, do you ever have that at your house? You think your house smells and you've got guests coming, and you think, what am I going to do? I can't really tell if it smells because I live here. You can reset your nose. This is very cool. So what you need to do is you need to run up and down the stairs very quickly, and that introduces more blood that widens the capillaries in your nose, and you'll be able to tell whether your house smells or not. You can reset your nose.
Well, I hope you don't live next door to me.
So, yeah, I love those things.
The thing I learned when I did it was that, you know, when you eat asparagus and your pee stinks, apparently that doesn't happen for everyone.
No.
Oh, actually, no, I found out something else later. It does. It does. Everybody's pee stinks, but some people can't smell it.
They need to reset their nose.
Yeah. Yes. Run up down the stairs.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, if they live in a bungalow, it's hell. Got to go outside at night and run round.
Come back in.
Yeah.
Oh, asparagus. Yeah, awful. But actually, you have when you get to the letter P, Grayson has quite a good thing about the pink and blue.
Oh, because, you know, I'm writing a book about masculinity, so I was thinking about the codes of gender, and, of course, pink and blue are being the most well-known. But pink, you know, pink was the boys' colour up until, you know, fairly recently, because in the late 19th century, they thought soldiers wore red, so maybe pink was like a kind of junior version of red. And they don't think it was till Mamie Eisenhower wore her pink gown at her husband's inauguration in 1946, I think, that was them thinking that pink is definitely a girl's colour. And it wasn't until the 60s that it got really set in stone or set in pink plastic.
Yeah.
I used it as an illustration of the way that gender, a lot of the behaviours that we think of as fixed, are incredibly fluid and changing all the time. And, you know, men and women maybe in a century's time may be doing completely different things.
We'll all be dead. Now, here's hoping.
So cheerful suddenly.
Now, last year, she won the Great British Bake Off and the hearts of a nation. And now she's back with her first cookbook. Please welcome Nadiya Hussain! Oh, there she is! Hello! Hi! Lovely to see you. Hi, come in. Hi, nice to meet you. Grayson, Sandi. Have you just shuffled down slightly? There we go. And you perched there, Nadiya. How are you?
Oh, can we take a moment to admire Grayson's shoes, please?
Yes, the Grayson shoes are amazing. I meant to mention them earlier.
I have a lovely lady called Natasha Marrow who makes them for me.
Her name's Marrow.
Yeah, she's French.
Oh, I see. Oh, he's a shoe. How are you, my dear?
I'm good. It's good. It's nice to be on a couch where I'm not the shortest.
Yeah, 3 short ladies today.
Yeah.
Now, Nadiya, so Bake Off, winning Bake Off. I think you are everyone's favourite winner. I mean, that final was just so emotional and lovely. Are you recognised everywhere you go now?
Yes. Yes.
Everywhere?
It's not a bad thing. It's you know, people are lovely. People are so nice. Some not so nice, but mostly nice. And yeah, well, like, yeah, mostly nice. But I recently went for, and I'm not shy. We've all got to do it. Went for my smear test.
All been there.
Yeah, yes, we and as you do, and you know, it's that god-awful fear where you think, oh, I really don't want to go. I just want to get this over with. I've shaved my legs. Let's do this. Come on. And then you turn up, and I just thought, please don't recognise me. Please don't recognise me. I was like, oh, I hope she doesn't recognise. I can just go in, get it done, get out. There I was, speculum. And she said, so is Paul Hollywood really that good looking?
That's a way to get you to relax. Comes at you with the Eiffel Tower.
I wonder what made her think of him.
Beard. Too much?
Yeah, maybe.
It's not...
Sorry.
She's in the room.
Sorry.
But I have to say, the thing that we all have... When she cried, when Mary Berry cried, and then you made your speech in the final, it was so lovely. And I wonder, in that speech, which was so inspiring and sort of empowering, was it something specific in your life you were talking about, or was it just a kind of a general thing?
I definitely didn't rehearse it, because lots of people asked me, they said, did you rehearse that?
No, because it seemed written, it was so lovely.
No, it was, I stood there, I was a editor's probably nightmare. I was stood there for about half an hour crying. They're like, are you going to say anything now? Nope, I was just going to cry. And I just stood there and I cried. And it's really weird because I can't actually remember any of it. I don't actually remember the moment I'd won. All I remember is looking down at my feet and thinking, these shoes need to go in the washing machine as soon as I get home because they're covered in icing sugar. So that was the only thought I had, but I didn't rehearse something. I didn't think I was going to get that far. I didn't think I was going to win. So much so, I handed the trophy back to Paul and I said, are you sure you don't want to give it to the other two?
Oh.
Because I genuinely didn't think it was... I mean, now, if they came for it now, they're not getting it. They're not getting it now. No.
Can I just say, I met you, Nadiya, just shortly after you'd won, in fact. This is the first time I met you. And fame does funny things to people. You have transitioned into the most fantastic, powerful and talented role model for women, and it's really wonderful to see.
Yeah. And I remember you're getting married.
Yeah. Again.
But in this country this time?
Yes. So I've been married before. I am married. I have 3 children. And we had the Islamic marriage in this country. And then we went out to Bangladesh and had, like, the ceremony out there. Not because we wanted the hot weather or the beaches. My father-in-law and my dad decided that they concocted this plan that it'd be cheaper to go out there.
Oh, fair enough.
I suppose they were paying for it, so...
Yeah, that is sensible.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I knew nobody. I had no family, just my mum and my dad. And my husband, who I'd only seen once.
Wow.
So it's the second time I'd seen him. So I was like, yeah, he's good looking, but that's a whole lot of lifetime. He's all right now, I quite like him. That's why... that's why I want to get married, because I'll actually mean it this time. Like, last time it was a bit like, OK, yay, let's do this.
Yeah, but it's interesting because I've read in interviews you talking about the whole idea of arranged marriage, and the more I read you talking about it, the more sort of sensible it seems, because you kind of think the chances are kind of the same.
Well, yeah,
My wife always says that love at first sight is projection at first sight. It's just that they remind you of someone else you love already. So, like, usually one of your parents. I mean, there's no such thing as love at first sight. But how could you love someone that you'd never met before?
No, when I met my wife, we shook hands, and I swear it was like being hit by lightning. And it still feels like that, and it's all those years later. So I'm afraid I disagree. You can write all the psychology books you like, you can't change how you feel when you meet somebody.
Yeah, wow. My husband had lovely long hair and a big ass, and I was like, that's nice, that'll do me.
I think if you meet someone and you kind of like them, you might as well marry them, because and then just see how it goes.
Yeah. But see, there are issues with that, because then you're stuck.
Yeah.
But they're in the ballpark, and then you grow together.
Yeah.
You want someone in the ballpark. You don't want someone you completely hate, but you want, you know, there might be a few corners that need knocking off, but that's what a relationship's about, changing each other.
Yeah. Not for that way. Not for that way.
It is. You've got to change each other a little bit. Otherwise,
really...
there's no blending, is there? There's no relationship you share.
But it's interesting about the whole arranged marriage thing, because culturally, you know, I have problems with it and I find it difficult until I had 3 grown-up children, and now I'm totally ready for it. I'm totally...
What, the arranged marriage
Oh, yeah,
thing?
I'll sort it for them. Seriously, I know way better than they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, having done it, I cannot wait for them to go to uni, leave the house. I'm going to sell up, go on a cruise, convertible around the world. You know, do your own thing. Like, having done it, it's not something I'd do for my kids.
No.
Just, I mean, who can be asked? I really can't be bothered. I can't be bothered.
No, that's fair.
Find your own husband.
Yeah, everyone else is doing it.
Yeah. Send them to uni and move house. Don't tell them.
My father was a short Jewish singer, and so I married a short Jewish singer. I did sort of do
The daddy thing.
And then I went, well, that didn't work, so now I better go in the whole other direction. That didn't work either. He left me for a man. And so I thought, I'm not going to do this anymore. Except tonight I'd like to announce that I am going to accept applications for an I'd like you to select for me.
Oh.
That's a reality show right there.
I'm going to pitch it tomorrow morning.
And the book is Nadiya's Kitchen, your new cookbook. And it's such a great reminder of kind of what modern Britain is. That it's a really, you know, it's an inclusive country and there's recipes from all over the world.
Yeah, it's just a mixture of all the things that I like to cook at home, and being a part of a Bangladeshi family, it just kind of all, it's very continental, Bangladeshi, British.
And did you have pressure on you to make it all cakes because of the bake-off thing, or no?
I don't know, I think there's a slight pressure that because I came off Bake Off that it should all be cakes, but that's not, I don't do cakes all the time.
And those people, you know, people who've been doing this for years, no, stop it. Because people who've been doing this for years, they've got kind of, you know, teams of domestic science people out the back going, well, that doesn't work, or this does work, da-da-da. So, as, you know, starting out, how do you do this? Are these just recipes you know absolutely solidly work?
It's just a lot of cake, a lot of flour, a lot of sugar. You know, when you're making something, like, for me, I didn't have a team. It was me, my rental kitchen that I was in at the time, and it was, the kids would come home from school, and I'm like, right, guys, you're having squid, you're having cake, and you're having tiramisu for dinner. That's it. And it was a mixture of about 3 months of just giving them all sorts of food, and they loved it. They loved it. So when we went back to a normal kind of setup where they had breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and had normal things, they were like, "So you're not writing any more recipes?"
Please tell me, just sometimes you defrost for the children. Please tell me that just occasionally there's a fish finger or something, so I don't feel so bad.
There's a fish finger butty in that.
There we go.
See?
Result.
Yeah.
It doesn't involve defrosting, though, Sandi. Yeah, I'm here to tell you, a real fish died.
Okay.
Bake Off, you know, it opened all these doors to you and all sorts of honours and things. And but one of the biggest thrills must have been when you got to bake the Queen's birthday cake.
Yeah.
There you are. And now, you didn't talk to the Queen for long, apparently. No.
No.
Are you laughing at what I'm laughing at? I'm laughing at that lady mayoress who looks like she's about to have the whole thing. Like, the Queen will turn back and just go, sorry, I don't know what came over me.
It did disappear very quickly, so I don't know. It could have happened. No, well...
Sorry, Lady Mayor. If you're watching, Lady Mayor, I know you didn't eat the whole thing. But you wanted to.
Prince Philip, I didn't know he was there. And she's the one person that I met that made me the most nervous.
In fairness, yes.
Like, you never... my dad now introduces me as, this is the daughter that made the cake for the Queen. I don't even have a name anymore. So he was very proud. But I didn't know Prince Philip was there. So he saunters around, I'm trying to talk, muffling all my words, and then he comes up and he said, and the Queen then introduced me to Prince Philip. I was like, get in! You know you made it when she introduces you to somebody else. And then she said, this is the young lady who won the baking competition. And I was, at this point, I was cloud 9, and he comes up and goes, yes, dear, I know who she is, but what flavour's the cake? Could not care less.
Because, Carrie, you've met a lot of... I know you've met royalty, because I was with you when you met one of them.
Which one? Oh, yes, I have met the prince, so I felt kind
Yeah.
But no,
Prince
when
Harry we met, and then back in the Star Wars
and I said
days...
I have a daughter and felt like an idiot. And she did too. And no, but in the olden days, we'd done Empire Strikes Back, and the royal opening was for Princess Margaret, and we were waiting for her to come down the line, and I sort of mentioned to Alec Guinness and Harrison and Mark that my father had slept with Princess Margaret. And caused a bit of a kerfuffle. And then I arrived at the party afterwards, after Harrison had gotten there, and he came up to me and he said, "Well, clearly your father will sleep with anybody." He meant it to be funny, because she's a very attractive woman. But she did think Empire was very loud.
The reviews are in. Loud. Because, Grayson, you've met the Queen a few times now.
Yeah, I have, yeah. Yeah, I mean, what I like about the whole sort of royal Buckingham Palace thing is they're not fazed by anything. You know, you just... When I went to collect my gong in a dress, you know, they didn't even blink. When I pulled up in my car to go to a party there once, the policeman said, you know, wound down my window and he said, "Madam," and he knew who I was. He said, "Madam, could you open the bonnet, please?" And I had a new car, and I said, "I don't know how to work it." And he sort of leans across, looks at my wife and goes, "Typical woman." I just like the way they're not phased, you know. I think that's very elegant in a way, but that's proper posh.
But now you've mixed... Is it the Queen of Denmark?
Oh, I have always behaved badly at the wrong moment. And, you know, you talk about Prince Philip kind of wandering around the room. So I was at a reception to celebrate the 200th birthday of Hans Christian Andersen in Denmark. And we love marzipan. And we were invited to a buffet where the whole buffet was made of marzipan. I think you can go overboard with marzipan myself. So there was every kind of food you can imagine, but all made of marzipan. So I thought this was hilarious. So I'm standing, my friend Helena Kennedy, a wonderful human rights lawyer, is taking a photograph of me, and I'm pointing to the buffet, and she's going... And behind me was the Queen of Denmark, who's phenomenally tall, just looking down like... What's a photograph of what looks like the Queen caught in the wild, like a giraffe looking down over the top of my head.
I think I made a pot for that anniversary as well, because I was in a show about Hans Christian Andersen. So they gave us his biography to read, and he used to put a little cross in his diary every time he had a...
Yes.
Trying to link up a few threads for you here.
That's the next series of QI right there.
Do you wonder how fairy tales get written? Well... Yay, Hans.
And it all ended happily ever after. Right, it's time for music. After an 11-year break, this boy band is back and better than ever, performing on What You're On. It's Busted, everybody! Good job, boys. Come on over. Drop your guitars. There you go. Hello, lovely to see you. Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you, sir. Hi. Come in, sit down. Dance, everybody. Sit down. There you go. All right. All right. Yep. We're not boarding a plane. You don't have to meet everybody. Try and sit down somewhere. Can you all fit in there? Yes, just about. Yeah, you're grand. You're grand. You're grand.
One cheek is on.
Yes, that's all we need. It's similar down the other end.
Yes, it
so
is.
yeah, you're...
Quarter of a cheek.
That is from the new album Night Driver, which is out now. And I was saying when I saw you last, what's great is you've come back, but the way sometimes bands come back and it sounds exactly the same, it doesn't. It sounds like you have been listening to things while you've been away.
Yeah, I think what's crazier is Busted broke up for musical differences. So to come back together and do the same old we broke up because of would be even stranger than coming out with a new sound, I think.
I feel referring to as same old is a bit confrontational.
To love that.
Hey, listen, I tell you, somebody on the couch is very happy you're here. Grayson Perry.
Yes, I was on... a Busted track was one of my Desert Island discs.
Do you know, I heard about this.
Yeah, because when I was up for the Turner Prize, my daughter was a big fan, and when I put the car stereo on, but by chance it was Loser Kid came on. I thought, that sums up my whole situation. You know, I used to be the loser kid and now I'm not. And that became my anthem during the whole run-up to the Turner Prize. And it came true, of course, because I wasn't the loser kid. Amazing. So I had it as my desert island mission.
So secretly...
So I've got a very fond memory
secretly,
of that
we're
track.
the reason you won the Turner Prize.
Yeah, probably.
Now, Carrie Fisher, they've brought a picture, Busted have brought a picture of themselves. Do you see anyone you recognise in this picture?
Yes. My brother, my twin.
Yeah, it's Mark Hamill.
Yes.
Yes. Where did you meet Mark Hamill?
The airport.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yes, pretty random. We were going through the airport and Matt texted me. I got a text from Matt going, guys, Luke Skywalker's on our plane. And,
Carrie, can we get one with you?
Yes, and then you just have one more to get. But
Yeah. This is actually way cooler because I kind of remember being young and that kind of Jabba the Hutt scene being a very prominent moment in my
Did you put a little cross in your diary? Yeah. All right. I can only apologise, Miss Fisher. I can only apologise. So, listen, that is nearly it. Before we go, just time for a visit to the big red chair. Who's there? Hello, what's your name?
Mark.
Mark, lovely. Where are you from, Mark?
Auckland, New Zealand.
New Zealand! These are always good stories. Always good scenes. Mark from New Zealand. Are you travelling or living?
Bit of both.
OK, great. Good to hear it. I'll write that down. No. Are you working here, Mark?
Yes, I am.
Doing...
Landscaping.
Landscaping!
So if you need your garden tidied up, just you know who to call.
Thank you very much, Mark. I will. I won't know your number, but I'll know who I should be calling.
You can get it later.
Oh, hello. Mark, off you go with this story. I'm sure it's going to be marvellous.
So recently, whilst travelling around Europe on Busabout, I doubled up on my morning coffee and it was a long stretch until the next service stop. And I just was, let's just say I really needed it. I was just absolutely in tatters. So it was... No. I like it when the couch is now going, no, not that. That's one more, quick. Hello, what's your name, sir? Nick.
Nick, the hopes of a nation rest on your shoulders. Nick, off you go with your story.
So I was in India taking a local flight from Srinagar and Kashmir down to Delhi. Very high security route, and you're not allowed any hand luggage at all. I had a bit of a dodgy tummy at the time, and I was carrying with me an emergency loo roll at all times. Got to security, and it was confiscated. There's nothing I could do about it, just had to hope and pray. Everything was fine. I seemed to be getting away with it, and I got called out to walk across the tarmac to go out to the airplane. And there, standing at the steps, at the bottom of the steps, was a uniformed security guard with a red velvet cushion with gold braid, and on it was my loo roll, which had been completely unravelled and very carefully rolled back up again. And on it, it just had a very smart handwritten label that just said, safe.
Enjoy the show, and if you go to the Big Red Train, contact us via our website at this very address. And that is it for tonight. Please say thank you to my guests, Busted! Nadiya Hussain! Sandi Toksvig! Grayson Perry! And Carrie Fisher! Join me next week with music from Jack Savaretti, chat show legend Sir Michael Parkinson, comedian Dawn French, new face of Star Wars Felicity Jones, Slumdog millionaire Dev Patel, and Oscar winner Nicole Kidman. I'll see you then. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye!